As 2020 comes to a close, Congress is rushing to pass a massive coronavirus relief package, an idea that's been kicked around since April.
This bill looks like will come in just under $1 trillion in the $900 billion range. Right now, they're discussing what exactly it's going to do, but it's widely expected to have an extension of unemployment benefits, direct aid to businesses, some help for transit agencies. We believe that they are moving closer to authorizing a new round of direct stimulus checks to Americans.
Republicans and Democrats have sparred over what to include in the legislation.
We Democrats would have liked to go considerably further, but this won't be the last time Congress speaks on COVID relief. Right now, we must address this emergency over the short term.
While pieces like providing aid to small businesses and money for vaccine distribution generally resonate across the aisle, bigger issues like providing individual relief checks are split along party lines.
Things get more partisan and more divided when you talk about things like giving direct aid to state and local governments that have seen revenue shortfalls, and the big Republican ask, which has been to create a broad liability shield for businesses, protecting them against lawsuits related to the coronavirus.
Towards the beginning of the pandemic, Congress was able to pass the CARES Act, and as a result, most Americans received a $1,200 stimulus check, but no similar relief has come since. This legislation would provide a second round of stimulus if passed.
By all accounts, they're going to be smaller than the $1,200 per person checks we saw earlier this year. It could be $600, it could be $700. They're still sort of working that out.
Other controversial components of the bill include assistance for struggling music venues, an extension of the federal eviction moratorium, and funding for the Federal Reserve's emergency programs. While party leadership engaged in a back and forth,
people need food on the table. They need to get their rent paid. They need money in their pockets.
We can't get the economy back to normal if we have an epidemic of lawsuits on the heels of the pandemic.
A group of moderate senators came together and presented the bipartisan framework that forms the bill's foundation.
Our action to provide emergency relief is needed now more than ever before. The people need to know that we are not going to leave until we get something accomplished.
Ultimately, what's included in the package is the result of a lot of compromise.
A lot is still in flux. People are still talking. There's, people on both the far left and far right who don't like a lot of the things that are going to be in this package. But, on these sorts of things, you need to people need to find sort of the sweet spot in the middle. And it seems like they're getting there. But closing these things out can be tricky business.
The pressure is on to get something through. On top of a struggling economy and climbing coronavirus case numbers, the deadline to fund government spending is December 18th at midnight.
There's signs that this, second wave of infections has been sort of joined by a second sort of economic wave that's really hurting Americans and businesses. And, I think there's a lot more pressure right now on Congress to do something and certainly get something done before leaving Washington for the year.